Hey guys, let's look at some problems from section 8.6, solving radical equations. So I have a few examples here, and we're going to look at them. The first one is solve the square root of 3x equals 9. So as you can see, I did my steps out accordingly, and what you can really see here, hopefully, is the fact that in the first step, all I did was rewrite the original equation. The second step, I squared both sides. Then I did the square out, so 9 squared is 81. And then, because I had to isolate the x, I had to divide both sides by 3. And then I got an x equals 27. So the answer here should be A is 27. Now, let's move on to another example here. We have a square root and an expression equaling some kind of constant. So again, we're just going to square both sides. So as you can see, in my first step, I just rewrote the actual problem. In the second step, I squared both sides. I squared 19, which came to 361, and then to isolate x, I just simply added 4 to both sides, and that gave me the answer 365. So the answer to this one is 365. Hopefully this isn't moving too fast, but is moving quick. I've got to keep these videos below 5 minutes, okay? So please ask questions later. Okay, here's another example, a very base one. Solve the square root of 7x equals a negative 5. Well, the square root of any number cannot be negative, right? As indicated by here. So at least as far as we know right now, right? We're not talking about complexes yet or imaginaries. So this is simply no solution. There's no way to do that, okay? Right? Because if I wanted that to occur, I would have to have the square root of negative 25, right? And that does not give me negative 5. And we'll talk about it later. It does not give you that, okay? So that answer is no solution. All right, let's look at this one. This one's going to take us a little while just to kind of go through. But now we have solved the square root of 3 minus x equals the quantity x minus 1. So as you can see, I rewrote in the first step the original problem. In the second part, I did what? I squared both sides. The third step, I actually expanded. Now, I expanded the binomial here, this binomial here, x minus 1 squared, using our special factored form that we've learned previously. So it makes it a lot easier and nicer. Then I went to simplify. I added an x to both sides, and I subtracted 3 from both sides. At this point, I noticed that I had to factor, okay? And by factoring, I came up with two binomials, x minus 2 and x plus 1. So by using the zero product property, which was 6, I set each expression, x minus 2 equal to 0, and I set x plus 1 equal to 0 and solved, right? So, oops, I should have had this one a plus, right? That should be a plus and that should be a negative. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, so when we actually solved, I had to do a check. And when I did check, I found out that the only answer that made any sense was 2, because we found out that 1 does equal 1. Inputting the negative 1, we get the square root of 4, which gives us 2, but 2 is not equal to negative 2. So the only answer to this, step 7, is x plus 2. All right, I hope that helped. The notes will be supplied. Please ask any questions in the comments and stream. Thank you. Bye. Ha ha!